He'll do anything, he'll say anything to impress these hoes. I'm just thinking love is strange. Should I feel the same that I feel? I know this. But yo, someone sympathy, that's your choice, and it's cool. I really hope it turn out good. I'm taking chances with a bad bitch. Pulling up, you push weight, and I go ghost. You wonder where I went. How many times I gotta say you the one I'm feeling? Goddamn, on that chicken head shit, you about to make me go ham. You can remove me out your spam, block me either way. Whichever one work best for you. Know you love TikTok. Some little pasta and shit. You know what I'm saying? Pasta and roast. Sounds like, oh, you feel me? Not too crazy. But we finna tune in to the rappers, alleged serial killer exposing the evil life of Boosie in detail.
Around them all the time. And
I was just tuning in. It's your WOP. How y'all feeling? How y'all drilling? How y'all coming, man? How y'all thumbing, man? I was saying, I ain't trying to pause the video. I'll switch to it. See what's going.
you touch Boosie, something's gonna happen to you. Something's gonna happen to you.
If, as your friend, if you do something in the street,
Dictators, cold-blooded politicians, dangerous
Man, I'm trying not to pause it a bit. But man, just tune in, bro. I'm probably smacking too loud. I'm gonna be quiet, bro.
kingpins, or even entertainers who live a double life. All of these people have one thing in common. They entertain you, they make you laugh, they make you smile, and they make you overlook the awful things they've done. In this case, we cover an entertainment genius, the ultimate hustler, and most importantly, a hip-hop legend. But what if I told you there's another side to this man? Possibly an evil control freak who eliminates anyone who challenges him. A man who comes equipped with goons who will throw away their freedom for him at any moment. And finally, a man who will turn his own friends and brothers into enemies simply because they want to leave his nest. Or maybe he's just a man who had to do what was necessary to make it out of his circumstances. In this video, I won't tell you what to believe. Instead, I'm just here to lay out all of the facts. This is the crazy story of Lil Boosie, so let's dive right in. South Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a place you've never been and a place you should probably never go. The area has always been poor, run down, and no stranger to violence, despite being just a couple blocks away from a
Nigga said, probably a place you should never go.
major university. It's the kind of place that's extremely difficult to make it out of, and because of this, it creates some very dangerous people. In fact, the average guy you'll see here is 10 times more intimidating than even the scariest person in most states. In a lot of places, there's structure and codes to the streets, but here, none of that is respected. In Baton Rouge, it's pretty much every man for himself, and things can go up for literally any reason. Jealousy and envy are the main reasons, and to make it worse, everyone is packing heat. No, I kid you not, everyone in Baton Rouge is carrying 30s. Plumbers, college graduates, professors, I kid you not, it's literally everyone. And this is what makes the environment so much crazier. In other cities, people squabble to solve issues, but sadly here, this could never happen. Thus why Baton Rouge is one of America's top 5 most dangerous cities. Well, this story begins in the heart of the madness, particularly the West Roosevelt Starting to head down the wrong path, sadly, tragedy would strike. In 1997, Torrance Hatch Sr. lost his life to a battle with cancer.
I bleak a lot though, like even niggas like they still be talking about bro to this day. And I know my mama like a fan of Lil Boosie, and she be talking about bleak too. So shit, like, you know, we just gonna keep up with what's going on. Try to keep up with what's going on in the basically the little story or whatever they got going. Story, but I ain't gonna say storyline, but like his documentary. I don't know what to call this, but like it's like a background chick, I guess. You feel me? We just gonna keep y'all in tune, see what these folks talking about. Feel me? I'm just be giving brief summaries or like the way I feel, my opinion based out I feel on it going forward. Goddamn.
In the same projects as Boosie, and that's how they met. Since the Sandbox, they were always together and were known to always stick up for each other. And second would be another close friend named Ivy Smith, also known as Lil Ivy. Ivy grew up about 5 minutes north of Highland Road in the top of South Baton Rouge.
That's another name I keep up with. Lil Ivy. I've been hearing about Lil Ivy too. Lil Ivy. I think he got a daughter named Ivyana, if I ain't mistaken.
And according to locals, he was the pretty boy who was known to have all the ladies. Bleak was the muscle, Boosie was the leader, and Ivy was the popular one. In the process, they picked up a friend who ended up being the wildest one. This would be a handsome young man by the name of Nicholas Sterling, also known as Lil Finn.
For him to say, for this nigga to say this would be a handsome young man, like, for him to put that in there though is crazy though. I ain't gonna lie, that is kind of crazy, dog.
Lil Finn fooled everyone with his good looks, but was always the first one to blow. Well, long story short, they were the guys in South Baton Rouge. So while Takari was attending Southern University, Boosie was in the streets risking his life.
You know what I'm saying? My mom ain't teach me to be no gangster. The streets did this, you know what I'm saying?
But at the age of 16, Boosie discovered his true passion. Yes, he loved getting fast money, but he loved telling the stories even more. Boosie began recording songs at a local studio, and this quickly became his newest hustle. Right off the bat, Boosie had a small amount of success, which caught the attention of a local label. This would be Trill ENT, a label located just 10 minutes away in the Uptown neighborhood. Trill was owned by two Uptown legends, Marcus Roach, also known as Turk, and Melvin Vernell, also known as Mel. Turk and Mel saw potential in Boosie to break out of the
So Turk and Mel, niggas that run the label, basically.
So they decided to sign him as a solo artist. Right off the bat, Boosie's music caught fire. At this point, he had enough money to leave Baton Rouge forever. However, he remained in the trenches with flashy cars, wads of cash, and any girl he wanted. In his mind, why would he leave the place where he's the biggest superstar? He knew that eventually someone would try him, but there's one reason why he wasn't scared. Boosie was rolling with some dangerous South Baton Rouge steppers. For a while, it was Boosie as the star and his three friends by his side. Obviously, this got them a lot of girls, but Ivy actually wanted something more. Simply being Boosie's friend didn't cut it. Instead, he wanted his own career. In 2004, Ivy began putting out mixtapes, and they actually caught fire in the streets. This prompted Trill ENT to inquire about signing him. Now, you'd expect Boosie to be happy and to make that easy connection for his friend.
I'm going back because bro going kind of too fast for me. The beat caught me off guard. Then a little bit, like he threw a bunch of the scratches in that bit all at one time. I got down there. Damn. I don't know what the beat. I was bumping the beat. Hey, listen, I'm like, damn, the beat hard as fuck. Wait.
Actually, someone would try him, but there's one reason why he wasn't scared. Boosie was rolling with some dangerous South Baton Rouge steppers. For a while, it was Boosie as the star and his three friends by his side. Obviously, this got them a lot of girls, but Ivy actually wanted something more. Simply being Boosie's friend didn't cut it. Instead, he wanted his own career. In 2004, Ivy began putting out mixtapes, and they actually caught fire in the streets. This prompted Trill ENT to inquire about signing him. Now, you'd expect Boosie to be happy and to make that easy connection consideration for his friend. You'd even expect him to bargain for more money from the label. However, this wasn't the case, or at least that's the rumor in Baton Rouge. The rumor goes that Boosie didn't want to see Ivy reach his level and that he wanted to be the only one in his crew with money and fame. And according to Ivy's nephew, when Trillian T was calling Boosie about Ivy, he wouldn't pick up the phone.
Yeah, Trill wanted to sign Ivy. Yeah, that's what it was. Amy wanted to sign Ivy and Boosie ain't won't answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? And Bleak got tired of telling Ivy Boosie don't want to talk. He kept telling Boosie and all this and that. So Ivy said,
because of this, Ivy and Boosie began bumping heads as Ivy felt betrayed. As a result, Ivy and Lil Finn began going to the club without Boosie. At the same time, Ivy was becoming a star of his own. He was handsome and could talk.
He was handsome and could talk that gangster talk. So the whole time, basically how they putting it, they saying like, alright, Boosie was on some, alright, I'm the only, you feel me? I'm gonna be the only one kinda like popping my you feel me, on that type time, like I'm gonna be the only rapper. If we gonna rap somebody, if we gonna, you know what I'm saying, be in the music industry, nigga, I'm gonna be the only nigga that rapping, you feel me? Yeah, I just like my sidekicks. I'm not saying it's true, but you know what I'm saying, from what I'm getting from the video, the YouTube video, this is what they saying, bro.
That takes us to March 19th, 2005. It's a Saturday night in Baton Rouge and Ivy is excited to go out to the club and have some fun. On this night, the place to be happens to be a small town across the river called Port Allen, Louisiana. So at 10 p.m., Finn, Ivy, and some TBG friends head across the bridge to Club Vibes. At the club, Finn and Ivy are getting all the girls because they have the popularity and the fancy chains. Well, another crew at the club does not take well to this at all. This would be Uptown Baton Rouge's dope celebrity.
It always be some hating ass niggas in the club, goddamn. You feel me? Especially, you feel me, like you taking all they vibes too, goddamn, man. And then you ain't even from over here, nigga. You cross the water, come over here. But man, fuck is you put down, nigga? You don't get shake the spot, nigga. Shake the spot. Get them up out of here, pull out. Tell nigga pull out, nigga. We gonna let them around. I'm already knowing how they get down. But it's crazy, bro. People come out there and enjoy themselves and have a good time. I kind of already see where it's finna go, though. Like, niggas finna start taking this to a whole different type of level right now. Like, I'm just finna watch, though.
Also known as DCF. DCF has been rapping and trying to build their label for years, so jealousy is heavy on this.
Well, ooh, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Back in the day, bro, y'all nigga know y'all was dead, bro, for the shit. Nigga, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Hey, bro.
In particular, two DCF members are there to cause a scene. One would be Marquis Serta, also known as Big Marquis, and the other would be Tremaine Franklin, also known as Lil Pig. DCF Lil Pig actually happens to be first cousins with Lil Finn. He also happens to be former childhood friends with Lil Ivy. But on this night, the jealousy overrides the family connections. Well, inside the club, the DCF members start an argument for zero reason. The story goes that Lil Pig gets into an altercation with Lil Ivy and they have to be removed by club security. But thankfully, the night,
bro, nigga be on bad terms, nigga pride and ego be in the way, and then they goddamn like been the goddamn, you feel me, be forgetting, like, you know what I'm saying, like, man, this, you feel me, this your boy, goddamn, like, some shit you just gotta let go, like, you gotta try not to be mad at your nigga for more than 30 minutes, like, y'all goddamn, let 30 minutes blow past, nigga, and let that shit cool off, goddamn, cause, man, shit can happen, bro, like, for real. And y'all just gotta try to, like, you know what I'm saying, manage that shit. Cause how I feel like this finna go is like something gonna happen to bro and Boosie like, damn, like I should have been there. Like there's some type of guilt that'll live on him forever. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say guilt, but like it just, he gonna feel guilty for like, man, if I was there, shit could have been different. But you know, God got ways of working. know what I'm saying? God ain't put him there for a reason. You feel me? It's a part of his course or a part of his path.
Boosie and Ivy begin to talk, and from what we know, the conversation doesn't go well. Coincidentally, during this conversation, the DCF crew happened to walk in the club. While everyone is distracted, the DCF crew began to walk to Ivy and Boosie's side of the club. They began yelling threats and walking up to the section. DCF, Lil Pig, and Big Marquis make their way up to the section and things go down. Specifically, Lil Pig targets Ivy and Big Marquis throws a sucker punch right at Boosie.
So
At
Boosie
this
was
moment,
there.
Bleak allegedly grabs Boosie and drags him out of the club. He then smartly convinces him to get in the car and drives away. A couple minutes later, police shut down the club and everyone is escorted. Finn and Ivy hop in their separate cars and begin to drive home to their respective homes. Everyone heads out, Lil Finn and his friends and Lil Ivy and his. Everyone is relieved that the night ended peacefully. Yes, Ivy's birthday was ruined, but at least he made it out.
Okay, so I
Or at
hold
least
on.
that's what they thought. Ivy happens to live in a suburban area all the way in eastern Baton Rouge, so he hops on Interstate 12 East headed to his home on Cavalier Drive. At 2:20 a.m., he gets off the freeway at the South Sherwood Forest exit. As he's heading down the street in his tinted car, another car pulls right beside him. The car then rolls down their window and
Damn, some crazy shit, bro.
Baton Rouge stopped the next morning when everyone got the news. Ivy was an up-and-coming star and everyone was devastated. On top of this, they were wondering why this even happened. People from South Baton Rouge were looking at Boosie sideways because they knew that he and Ivy were not on the best terms. But those who were at the club that night knew exactly what this was about. It simply had to be DCF. But rumors that Boosie had done it down the drain. And 2 years later, some hands began to reveal themselves. In 2007, Big Marquis began dissing Boosie out of nowhere. He claimed to have broken Boosie's 2 front teeth that night at the club, as he stated in multiple songs. He even began to call himself Mr. Two-Piece for the 2 punches that connected with Boosie's mouth. At this point, Baton Rouge did not know yet that dissing Boosie was a
Hey, bro. At that point, they probably around town. Boosie got down, got some fame, right? So he got down. Bro started doing anything to get everybody's attention. He said he knocked out my boy 2 front teeth. I got down, and he said, "Goddamn, he missed a 2-piece." So he let him be known. Nigga run up on his ass. He gave your ass a mean 2-piece, dog. No chick nugget, no Mac nugget.
mistake. To make matters worse, at the same time, rumors began to circulate that Lil Pig was responsible for Lil Ivy. For these reasons, Boosie was now infuriated at the DCF camp and something needed to be done. Obviously, as a superstar rapper, he wasn't gonna do it himself, so instead, he needed his friends to step up. This right here placed Lil Finn in a major dilemma. Do I ride with my cousin Pig, or do I ride with Boosie and for my friend Ivy?
Crazy.
Well, Finn was a cold stepper and he was loyal to Boosie and Ivy no matter what. And this right here may confirm it. On April 19th, 2008, Lil Pig and his mother were found inside his Acura TL right in front of her home. The incident occurred in a somewhat tucked off.
Whoa. God damn. That nigga too. God damn. He extra like
Suburban area of Baton Rouge. This begged the question of how someone found Lil Pig at this specific location. His Acura was tinted and the man who did this was sitting across the street waiting for a couple of hours. There was only one plausible answer, as Lil Finn was his cousin and this was his aunt's house. Lil Finn was never found guilty, but the streets of BR took this as a fact. Boosie began shouting out Lil Finn in his music under his other nickname Gangster Nick. In fact, he has a song called Gangster Lil Nick where he depicts the character of his young friend. In the song he says, "We lost Lil Ivy and he turned up his pressure." He also says he wanted everyone to know he did that. And lastly, he calls him his light-skinned stepper with 2 Glocks and a stick.
Man, these folk, man, Solving cases, man. No cap.
When you live this kind of life, karma comes around in mysterious ways. December 9th, 2008. It's a typical Tuesday afternoon in South Baton Rouge, and Lil Finn is outside his house on Tennessee Street. The Hood is outside hanging out when Lil Finn gets into an argument with a friend named Donald Eli. Finn's hot temper gets the best of him and he whips out on his friend. He misses and Donald sprints behind the house. Finn follows him to the back of the house, but this time Donald is ready. Donald was arrested directly after the incident. However, once police got the full story, they realized that it was self-defense. And as you would expect, all of the charges for Donald Eli were dropped. Regardless of the circumstances, the incident devastated Boosie as Finn was one of his closest friends. He was also upset because Finn was the only one proven to put in work after the loss of Ivy. Everyone knew that he was the main enforcer on the Boosie side, so this loss had some serious implications. Boosie was no longer protected like he once was, and things would only get worse a couple of months later. Boosie was pulled over in Baton Rouge and officers found 7 grams of green stuff in his glove box. Now you may scoff at this, but in Louisiana this is a serious charge. Because of this, Boosie was sent to jail.
He trying to dodge the monetization because niggas about green stuff.
2 years in Angola State Prison. So
there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It just, bro.
With Ivy gone, Finn gone, and Boosie locked up, the DCF rivals began to get bold. DCF was headed by a rapper named Nussie, who by this time was already in his 30s. Because of his age.
Okay. Hold up, though. Pause. Time out, bro. So this is Nussie. Today is goddamn what? So if y'all know, Young YB just dropped a song called Nussie. So this is who he talking about. This nigga right here. I was just laughing at his ass earlier because like the kneecap nigga forehead like, bro, goddamn. Fuck.
Nussie wasn't really involved in the DCF street activity. He was simply an older guy who was grasping to have a rap career. Well, while Boosie was away, Nussie began trolling tremendously. First, he dropped a mixtape with the same exact cover as Boosie's album, except with his own face on it.
Now today, what y'all call rage bait? Would this be what would y'all rate this, bro? Like, what would you rate this as in rage bait? Like, if a nigga goddamn take your album cover, do the exact same thing, like, and then he put the bad ass at the end, right here, specifically, just so he can let him know, like, nigga, I'm taking your shit. You feel me? What type of rage bait? And then we finna see how Boosie gonna respond, bro.
Strategy worked for Nussie as his music started selling.
You know, so now I'm getting radio play. I'm in the clubs. My CD's selling off the shelf. You know what I'm saying?
But the trolling would get even worse. On his next project, he used Ivy's vocals and put them on his own song.
I'm tired, but whoa, nigga, what? That nigga did some crazy shit.
And started halfway claiming that he was the one responsible for the loss of Ivy. This was a man playing with fire, especially because Boosie was coming home soon.
Also, this is why
Shortly after this, Boosie's charges were reduced and he was sent home on house arrest. Boosie versus Nussie was the new beef in Baton Rouge, and everyone was curious what would happen. But for Nussie, he didn't see it as beef, as he would clear the air with a local interview.
You know, but as for the Boosie incident, the so-called beef with me and Lil Boosie, I ain't got no beef with Boosie because I talked to him. I talked to him maybe 5 months ago at the airport. I flew in from Mexico. I got a call that he was getting off the airplane. He was on his way to Baton Rouge because I knew somebody on the plane. I said, damn, this is the perfect time about to go catch him while he by himself.
Right.
Where ain't no entourage, just me and you, you know. Now, he wasn't acting like no nothing. You know, he stood up like a man. He talked to me. He told me that he ain't never crossed me. He ain't had nothing against me. He told me to look up to me in the streets. And I told him, well, my feelings were hurt because nigga told me to yank my sign down, which was petty, but it was big to me because I feel like we know each other and I just talked to you, and for you to do that is like you shitting on my dreams, bro. You know. So he told me he didn't do it. I told him, well, shit, ain't no beef, you know. Just like I say, when I say things about people on songs, people gonna blow it up because they think it's gonna be, you know, but just don't know I'm entertaining my listeners, and I talk about anybody, you know. I could be with my boy, when he make me mad, I might jot a little line about his ass, you might see us later on. Right. So make a long story short, people done caught on to it, ain't nobody really nothing tripping. Personal. No, it ain't nothing personal, you know. Like I say, I told him, I said, man, I'd be less than a man to do you something behind some he said and she said when I can just come approach you. Because we know each other, you know, I know you and you know me.
He even admits it was all a marketing.
So yeah, you feel me? That's what I'm about to say. Like, bro really came up with like a goddamn marketing scheme. It's more so like he ain't really taking the rap serious as it is today. Like, niggas make this on and they goddamn nigga and they feeling they pressed by this shit. So that's how you know he really didn't care about the image. He really was on marketing and making money.
Campaign.
I had did it because I had wanted to. I always think about marketing. You know what I'm saying? I thought it'd be an easy way to catch people's ear, and it worked. It did. You know what I'm saying? I did it. I took Boosie's album cover, took him off, put me on it, and I did it. But once you listen to the album, I had no diss. It wasn't a diss record. It just was something I wanted to just be different, be exclusive, you know? A lot of people took it the wrong way. A lot of people understood what I was doing, and they commended me for it. And the music spoke for itself.
Clearly, Nussie thought that everything was good, as that's what Boosie had told him. However, this wasn't exactly the case. According to court documents, Boosie put $25,000 on Nussie's head. Previously, he would have called Lil Finn to handle it for free, but now it was anyone's ransom. And that introduces us to a young man named Michael Louding, also known as Marlo Mike. Marlo Mike grew up in the uptown section of Baton Rouge and was best friends with Lil Fat. If you're unfamiliar, Lil Fat happens to be the son of Trill CEO Melvin Vernell. This doesn't matter now, but will later be relevant. At this time, Marlo Mike was only 15 years old, but had already built a dangerous reputation. He was raised in extreme poverty, in and out of abandoned homes, and was raised by all kinds of different family members. Because of this, Marlo had no sense of family or structure.
I got like 30 minutes left in this video. I'm really finna try to let somebody play. I'm finna go to sleep, dog. In a little bit, I gotta get up and work for work in the morning, so I know y'all gonna be happy. I'm finna let most of it play though. Feel me?
Desperate for appreciation and attention. Well, for a couple of years, Marlo was used as an enforcer for Trillian T and Lil Fat. And once he heard about Boosie's ransom, he was eager to cash in. Lil Fat brought Marlo Mike to Boosie's mansion. Marlo was excited to meet his idol, however Boosie wasn't there. Instead, he was able to meet Boosie's young stepper named Michael Judson, also known as Ghost. Ghost grew up one building down in Boosie's projects, but was 5 years younger. So essentially, he was raised under Boosie's wing and eventually became his enforcer. Well, now that Ghost and Marlo were connected, this was a dangerous duo, especially for $25,000. February 9th, 2009. It's a regular Monday afternoon in Baton Rouge, and Nussie is at home chilling with his boys. At 10:40 p.m., Nussie's friends tell him they're hungry and they're going to the gas station to grab some food. Nussie doesn't want to be left at the house, so he decides to tag along with them. Together, the group of 5 get up and walk to the Exxon on Florida Street. Coincidentally, at this same time, Marlo, Mike, and Ghost are spinning around the area looking for Nussie. They know he lives in the general area, but they don't know exactly where to find him. Well, at 10:55, Ghost realizes he's running low on gas, so he pulls into the Exxon gas station. As Ghost is pumping gas, Marlo walks into the store to grab a snack. As he enters the store, he looks up and completely freezes in his tracks. He notices Nussie right there checking out at the counter. Marlo is shocked, so he walks to the back of the store staring at Nussie the entire time. Nussie looks back at Marlo a couple of times, but he doesn't recognize him. He thinks nothing of it and walks back home with his friends. Marlo drops his snacks and instantly walks to Ghost's car and tells him that he just saw Nussie. So the duo instantly hop in the car and begin following Nussie at a distance. At 11:03, Nussie and his friends arrive to his house and walk inside. As they're walking in, Marlo and Ghost bend the corner and they get out of the car. Ghost then crouches down and Marlo Mike gets on his shoulders. This way Marlo Mike can see into the living room and have a clear view of Nussie. He's able to spot Nussie sitting on the couch, and that's when he makes a wild decision. This was major news in Baton Rouge as Nussie was a local celebrity. Everyone was curious what this was about, and most people assumed that it was Boosie. Well, once Ghost told Boosie who had done it, he was eager to meet him. So this is when Marlo Mike was first introduced to Boosie Boo. Marlo went to Boosie's mansion expecting $25,000, but instead he was only handed $2,800. Personally, I would be pissed, but Marlo Mike didn't really care. He was raised in extreme poverty, so to him it didn't really make a difference. In his mind, he had never had this kind of money before, so everything was okay. More importantly, he was truly stargazed by Boosie and he was willing to do anything to please him. This is ultimately how Marlo Mike became Boosie's new #1 stepper. He was now a part of the family, even taking pictures with Boosie's daughter. Now with Marlo on his team, Boosie felt untouchable once again. And that takes us to April 12th, 2009. Boosie is on house arrest surrounded by family and friends at his home. Everyone is downstairs blasting music, partying, and having an overall great time. And as everyone is distracted, a young guy from Boosie's neighborhood creeps his way upstairs. He makes his way into Boosie's bedroom looking for items to steal. The man finds Boosie's jewelry box and begins stuffing his pockets. As he's quickly doing this, one of Boosie's friends happens to walk in his room. Boosie's homie yells downstairs and tells people to come up. So Boosie walks upstairs, sees what the man is doing, and gets furious. So Boosie and his friends drag the man downstairs and outside of the house. They then give him a good old-fashioned whooping. While this is going on, the neighbors get concerned and call 911. The police come quickly and notice Boosie standing over the man. So instantly, Boosie was booked for battery.
Again, the Sheriff's Department says local rapper Torrance Hatch, better known as Lil Boosie, was arrested today on aggravated second-degree battery charges from a fight they say happened at his house on April the 12th. Sheriff's officials say when Boosie and a few others showed up at the house, there was some sort of a confrontation about the man stealing one of Boosie's necklaces. We're told that's when a fight broke out. Fist and possibly even a vase were used in the fight. One man was taken to the hospital with non-threatening injuries.
Now, one of the rumors goes that the thief was Marcus Thomas, also known as Gangster. The other rumor states that Marcus had snatched Boosie's chain in front of his daughter. Either way, Boosie was pissed, and Marlo Mike now had another. April 25th, 2009. It's a Saturday night in Baton Rouge, and Marlo and Ghost are on their mission. Specifically, they're in South Baton Rouge waiting outside of Marcus's house on West McKinley. They wait for 45 minutes until Marcus returns home in his pickup truck. Marlo and Ghost then pull alongside the truck and roll down their windows. Bang. This was a rupture in the South Baton Rouge community. Some felt like it was an overreaction to material possessions, but others understood that Boosie was not the person to steal from in the first place. At this point, Boosie's life is completely filled with drama, and from here it would only get worse. If you remember a man named Big Marquis, he was the one who allegedly knocked out Boosie's teeth in 2005. Well, Marquis was a feared man in Baton Rouge, similar to Marlo Mike. 4 years had passed since the incident, and the drama surrounding Big Marquis had died.